Alright, so the first part in the introduction, what really stood out to me was it said you have to set clear goals for what you want students to get from the lesson. And after we had that discussion in class a couple weeks ago, it made planning the routines a lot easier because I knew exactly what I wanted to get out of it. And if you can kind of muddy the waters and you don't make it clear to yourself or your students what you want them to know, then they're not going to know that. Alright, so chapter 1, so 5 practices: anticipate, monitor, select, sequence, connect. So anticipate, I felt, is a lot of what we did in our planners with anticipating student responses, and going around monitoring to see what students are actually doing. And then selecting, I feel like that's something that we haven't done as much of in class, of when we monitor, like the look for the specific answer that we anticipated and want to discuss. And based on what you anticipated and select, you sequence those answers that you want to discuss, and then you connect all those answers together. Right, big thing about anticipating, I like how it made a difference between strategy and representation, because even though the representations could look very different, if you have a table or a picture, it could be the same strategy. Like you could be, like the one thing was like scaling up, they were both adding by 2s, but even though it looked different, it was the same thing. Alright, and part of selecting an appropriate task, I really liked how it said that a task should require student anxiety, because it requires more to their solution process. It requires more thinking to it because the answer's unpredictable. It's not a plug and chug kind of thing. And I feel like I really relate to that. Like the problems that test my mind the most in school, that always helped me the most in math classes, were the ones that did make me feel a bit anxious and a bit worried, because I had to struggle to get through it and think outside the box to get there. And I think that's a really good idea to think about, is make your students anxious. So I've been playing Queen songs underneath my entire video, and I just realized I should have been playing the song Under Pressure when I was talking about student anxiety, but I guess it's too late for that. And finally, I really liked in chapter 3 when it says monitoring the lesson will give you opportunity to alter it based on students' needs. And like the teacher in there noticed that students were struggling with certain ideas, so they made sure to focus on that. So if you just skip over the monitoring and try to go through your whole lesson plan, you're not going to know what you really need to focus on. Bye!